Hi, this is Alcan. Welcome back to my channel. Well, it seems that the Trump organization or the Trump administration, whatever they like to call it, um, seems to have gotten another victory, another L for the liberals. This time it's Colombia, and they caved in to Trump's demands. So let's get into it. This is from the New York Post. And his story is so big, you need 3 writers to write it. Emily Crane, Kathleen Don Levy, and Sean Gavin. Says Colombia caves in to Trump's demands at the 400 million threat over campus anti-Semitic will institute mass ban and more oversight. So, in other words, you can't corrupt your friends anymore on campus because it's not being used for to prevent illness from going from one person to another. Columbia University caves into Trump administration Friday, agreeing to policy changes including a mask ban and allowing campus police to make arrests after the feds yanked $400 million in funding over how the Ivy League school handled anti-Semitic. The embattled Morningside University, which has become the epicenter of violence anti-Israel protests, will also install new leadership to review curriculum for its Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies Department and Center for Palestinian Studies, according to a memo from the administrators. The school has said 36 campus police will now be empowered to arrest students or boot them from campus when deemed appropriate. Isn't that lovely? The school's interim president, Kathleen Armstrong, in a letter to the school Friday, painted the submission as a progression towards making the campus a safer place for all students, but did not specifically mention its Jewish population. Gee, I wonder why. The way Colombia and Colombians have been portrayed is hard to reckon with. We have challenges, yes, but they do not defy us, Armstrong wrote. So why am I doing these comments with my face? We are a community of scholars who have deep respect for each other and our mission. We teach the brightest, most creative students in the world, and we care deeply for each and every one of them. I have faith in our ability to overcome the greatest of challenges. We stand resilient and brilliant. The Trump administration yanked roughly $400 million in grants and contracts from the elite school back on March 7 over its failure to stamp out anti-Semitism on its campus and threatened to claw back billions more. Ooh. Rock me, Amadeus. The threat only escalated last week when the administration released a list of 9 demands that Trump officials had called preconditions for receiving any future federal cash with a Friday deadline. I mean, no cash, no gash. In a 4-page document released Friday, Columbia lists the specific steps it will and already had taken to rectify anti-Semitics on the campus, including reforming its judicial review board, I can't pronounce that word for anything, hired a new provost position with the increased responsibility, and banning unnecessary masks for students. Yes, COVID has been over for quite a while. The first bullet point in the memo mentions suspensions, expelling, or temporarily revoking the degrees of students who storm Hamilton Hall, and state discipline reviews of participants in substantial encampments were ongoing. The Trump administration has demanded that Colombia enforce existing discipline policy, namely by punishing those responsible for the violent takeover of Hamilton Hall in April 2024 that saw dozens of mass anti-Israeli rioters smashing their way inside. And when they say smashing, they don't mean the British terminology. They mean smashing, like destroying stuff, damaging stuff. Meanwhile, discipline means or expulsions or multi-year suspensions, the demand stated, or is meaningful. Colombia also revealed it will cease to the White House call for reorganization of discipline proceedings, but did not totally give in to the other demands. Rather than abolish its university, Judge Cisco board as instructed, Colombia uh, revamped it or something. It will restructure the panel under the office of the provost and will have its 5 members undergo a rigorous venting and conflict review process to ensure objectivity, impartiality, and commitment to following and enforcing our community rules and policies. The school also noted it will appoint a new senior vice provost who will be tasked with reviewing the embattled Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies Department, which the Trump administration demanded, to be put into academy receivership. Academy receivership is a rare measure taken to fix a dysfunctional college department by appointing an outside professor or administrator as its chair. The new senior vice provost will oversee class leadership and the curriculum to ensure the education offered. What just happened here? Sorry, we have a little problem here. What happened here? Something happened here. Okay. The new senior vice provost will also be responsible for venting new hiring non-tenured facility members across the university. I don't know what happened. It blanked out and came back. On a similar note, Columbia committed to promoting academic diversity and institutional neutrality among the facilities, according to the memo. Trump also pushes for a mask ban on campus, which Columbia agreed to, barring religious or medical reasons. Yes, COVID has been over for a long time. We have important instances in the recent past where the individual unaffiliated with the university has caused significant disruption on our campus. Note the memo. Yes, you got outside agitators going to the college when they're not supposed to be. And because you had the mask on, you cannot identify who these chokers are. So the IB will also now require that protesters and demonstrators identify themselves when asked or else face discipline action. Columbia, however, stopped short of prohibiting protests altogether inside the school buildings or places where the academy activity takes place, saying that they are generally not accepted because of the likelihood of disruption academy activities. A K-12 curriculum focus on topics such as how to have difficult conversation, create classrooms that foster open inquiries, dialogue across different and topics related to anti-Semitic will also be developed by the college, memo stated. Oh, yes. Oh, they show one of these wonderful people redecorating the building at Columbia during one of these protests. So it's not peaceful protesting, as CNN would like to say. And he had a hammer. I could screw the college windows. Yeah. Ooh. By the way, the Post made an error. It says the damage to the window occurred on April 30th, 2025. I think they meant 24, because we're not in April yet. The exclusive university also announces that they are reviewing their administration policies across all colleges to ensure standards are unbiased, citing a recent downturn in both Jewish and African American enrollment. Whoa. Both? The Ivy League school considered its legal option in fighting Trump's demands, but decided it would be an uphill battle against the Feds, a senior Columbia administrator told the Wall Street Journal. Since October 7, Jewish students have faced relentless violence, intimidation, and anti-Semitic harassment on their colleges or campuses, only to be ignored by those who are supposed to be protecting them. Secretary of Education Linda McMahon said when the frozen funds were first announced. Yeah, she power dried them. Boom! I don't know if she was ever arrested or not, but it is kind of funny though. University must comply with all federal anti-discrimination laws if they are going to receive federal funding. For too long, Columbia has abandoned that obligation to Jewish students studying on its campus. Today, we are demonstrating to Columbia and other universities that we will no longer tolerate their appalling inaction any longer. At this time, Ben Cohen, executive director of the Columbia and Barnes Hiltzer chapter, said he hoped it will serve as a wake-up call to the administration. Columbia has anti-Semitic crisis, and for months I have worked for the facility staff and student parents and alumni to urge the administration to act quickly to address this crisis and avoid lasting damage to the university, he said. I hope that this federal action is a wake-up call to Columbia administration and trustees to take anti-Semitic and harassment of Jewish students and facilities seriously so that these grants can be restored, the vital work of universities can continue, and Columbia can become once again a place where Jewish community thrives. Now, what I'm not going to read is the long list for Columbia. I'll show it to you. You can check the New York Post for it. Adds a long list. Otherwise, this video will be a whole lot longer. But in the end, Columbia bowed down to the Trump administration, and being power dried by Linda McMahon is also twice as embarrassing. You know, she runs the WWE at one time, taking over her husband. Well, we don't want to get into his situation. Why he's not there anymore. But I still remember that Trump gave him a nice haircut. He thought he was going to shave Trump's hair off, right? But didn't work out. Trump is not somebody to play with. So, no more mask. They got to make changes, and they got to stop the shenanigans. So, this peaceful protest cannot continue at Columbia University, and the university cannot continue to ignore it. Otherwise, when they look in the wallet and they see it's empty, they're going to wonder why. Oh, because we allowed this to happen. That's why you had no money. Well, this is Alcan saying so long for now, and don't forget to stop. Now, let's see if we can do that to NYU, my wife's college.